So most people don't realize what impact Jehovah's Witnesses have had on civil liberties in the United States.
On the eve of World War II, 2 young Jehovah's Witnesses refused to salute the flag in their Pennsylvania classroom. Across America, thousands of witness kids took the same stand and were kicked out of school. The witnesses sued the government. 8-1, the Supreme Court ruled against the witnesses. It said the government could force its citizens to make a patriotic salute. Jehovah's Witnesses continued their refusal. Editorials in 200 newspapers condemned the ruling, noting the irony. Isn't this what America was supposed to be fighting against in Nazi Germany? They argued that a free country shouldn't force people to pledge allegiance to anything. In an unprecedented move, the Supreme Court agreed and reversed itself in just 3 years.
Jehovah's Witnesses have been at the U.S. Supreme Court more than any other group other than the U.S. government, and the cases have reverberated throughout the entire First Amendment: freedom of press, freedom of religion, freedom of speech, assembly.
Jehovah's Witnesses were talking about a different solution, and sometimes aggressively so, because they felt very strongly that the ultimate solution doesn't come from war, but rather from God's kingdom.
Combine that with the nationalism that was sweeping the country in the face of growing international difficulty. And there was quite the unwillingness, the intolerance to hear the message that the witnesses wanted to articulate.
Witnesses were scorned as unpatriotic. They wouldn't pledge loyalty to any man-made symbols, calling into question what it means to be an American.
Between 1935 and 1958, the Jehovah's Witnesses were in the Supreme Court a remarkable 45 times. And there are periods during First Amendment history when you see a particular group really carrying the banner of free expression. You could say that they don't fight, you could say that they don't vote, but what they have done is litigate. And in a way, they've contributed more to American democracy and the protection of American ideals than a lot of people have with their votes.
The right to speak freely on street corners and door to door, to publish an unconventional message without getting arrested, the right to be a conscientious objector of war, and the right of all patients seeking medical treatment to control what's done to their bodies.
You can connect the dots and show how Jehovah's Witnesses have actually helped groups, even groups they disagree with. And what's really interesting is that Jehovah's Witnesses are not progressive. They're moral social conservatives. They aren't activists. They're only going to the court for their own purposes, so they can preach and worship the way they want. Yet, when they win a right, that right extends to everybody across the board.